My name is Gina, and I would like to officially welcome you to Season Beauties. If this is your first time visiting with us on today, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you are returning, thank you so much. Your girl really does appreciate it, and welcome back. Either way, if you are currently not subscribed, go ahead, do what you know to do and hit that subscribe button below. Become a part of the Season Beauties family. We'd be more than happy to have you, and there's more than enough room on this family tree just for you. Now, this video on today, I've never done anything like this on my channel before. Never thought I would have to. How about that? But I am so very determined to get through this video. I've been trying to get it done for 2 weeks, but every time I sat in this chair to do it, the tears would just start to flow, and I refused to sit here with tear-stained face. I'm just saying. So let's just have a little bit of a conversation. Now, I'm sure you know what's going on in the world today. The only way you don't is if you live under a rock, okay? But I just want to talk to you about a couple of things and share my experience with you. And then we want to even talk about systemic racism. I'm going to give you some information as to where to check it out at. Now, those of you who said I'm sick of hearing about it, don't change the channel, because you may have heard it from someone else, but you didn't hear it from me. Now, with that being said, I'm going to cite and give you some videos and some information to check out so that you can see a little bit more, because I don't want to keep you here very long. Now, I'm sure you can see what I look like. Now, for me, I have challenges because I live in a society where people want what people like me have, as long as we don't come with it. You have people, and right here, sitting here, I guess this is about the beauty community, because we have so many people who want bronzed skin. Excuse me, last time I checked. You have people who want a curvy body and want your hair to be able to do some of the things that our hair does, okay? However, as long as it doesn't come with us attached to it, you're okay with that. And that is a problem. And most people don't understand that. They don't understand that. Why should we, as a people, have to have a law passed for us to wear our hair without being discriminated against the way it grows out of our head? Why do we need a law for that? Because, for lack of a better way, I don't even know if there's I don't know if there's another way to put it, but when you have people who think they own you, that's why Black people, people of color, have to have laws put on the book so that we are not discriminated against because we choose to wear our hair naturally without fear of not getting the promotion or being considered a non-team player. It's none of those things. I don't wear my hair like this to intimidate you. I don't wear my hair like this to get on your nerves. Because in all honesty, I really don't care. It's not about you, it's about me. And it's my hair. Just saying. Just saying. Don't get upset. Just know the truth. Now, I'll list some states below that we have had to have these laws put on the books. Now, you may say that that is not the case. I want to tell you about my son. My husband was in the military, so we traveled around. We lived in a small town in Oklahoma. And while we were living there, a teacher embarrassed my son in front of a classroom full of people and refused to allow him to go on a field trip because he did something he was taught at home. We did not say the Pledge of Allegiance because how am I going to teach my children not to lie? And we say something that is a blatant lie. And what am I talking about? The Pledge of Allegiance claims liberty and justice for all. Are you seeing that? Have you seen that anywhere now? With things that are going on in the news, have you seen that anywhere now? No. So I cannot be a hypocrite and tell my son, it's okay for you to say that. And tell him to not lie in the same sentence. It doesn't fit. So anyway, this particular teacher decided in her embarrassment of my son, she made him write for the entire class period, I will say the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, I'm not that mom. I am not that mom. So when my son came home from school and explained to me what had happened, that he was not allowed to go on a class trip that we prepared him to go on, I was not okay with that. And he explained to me what happened. I said, you don't have to worry about that. Your mother and your father will be at that school in the morning. That is where we were. And I went to that teacher. She was all proud of herself. She just thought she was doing something. She wasn't ready for me. And the reason that I say she was not ready for me is because she thought my son was telling her a lie. She thought he was telling her a lie. So she called my son a liar for doing what he was taught. So she says, well, your son refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I said, and? She says, what do you mean, and? I said, that is what he was taught. She turned completely flushed. She said, I thought he was lying. I said, and why would you think that? She said, I thought he was lying. I'm just saying, who doesn't say the Pledge of Allegiance? I said, it does not apply to people that look like us. She said, I don't understand. This was not a long time ago. This was not 40 years ago. This was not 30 years ago. This happened in 2001. Now, I'm telling you, she says, well, I don't think I should have to apologize to him. I said, well, I think you do, and you will. She said, well, okay. I don't feel like I should have to. But that's what you want? I said, no, I need you to understand this. And I need you to apologize to him the way you embarrassed him. You embarrassed him in front of a classroom full of his peers for doing what his parents taught him to do. I said, as a matter of fact, you owe his parents an apology. She didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. I said, and if you don't, I promise you, I will have your job. She thought I was joking. She thought I was joking. I said, I promise you, I will have your job. I said, because when I leave from this school, I'm going to see your boss. I'm going to the Board of Education. And I have the NAACP's phone number. I don't have a problem calling them either. She said, you're serious? Yes, I'm serious. So when we say to you, these things actually happen in our lives. Not just in my mother's time or my father's time or in even just my grandparents' time. My children had to experience these things. Now, did we have this situation taken care of? Absolutely. And she came and called me the next day, and she apologized to me. She said, you know what, I thought about what you said, and I have never been in a position to have to think about this before. She said, but I do apologize, and I will apologize to your son in front of his class. I said, thank you very much. When my son came home from school, I asked him if that happened. He said, yes. I said, okay. The same city in Oklahoma, my oldest daughter, y'all know, C1, she had an altercation with the teacher, so I thought. So when my daughter came down the hallway, I said, would you like to tell me what happened? She said, nope. She said, I don't want to tell you. I want you to hear it from her. I said, okay, first of all, this teenager has a little bit too much attitude, but okay, we'll hear it from her. So I said, let's go in the room and talk to her. So I said, please tell me what happened. She said, your daughter was so disrespectful to me. I said, what did she do? My daughter is nudging me. She said, wait till you hear this. Said, okay. So the teacher said to me, I was asking her a question and she looked me in my eye. I said, excuse me. She said, yes, she looked me in my eye. I said, and when did the disrespect come in? She said, she's a little girl. I said, what were you getting ready to say? Nothing. She's a little girl. How dare she look me in my face? I said, how dare she not? I said, this is what we teach our children to do. When you talk to someone, it's disrespectful to not look them in their face, to not make eye contact. What is this? I don't understand. I said, I'm not okay with this, and my daughter is not okay with this. Disrespect is not what has happened here. I turned and I looked at my daughter and I asked her, I said, were you punished for this? She said, no, they talk about they were going to use corporal punishment on me. I said, absolutely not. So she says, well, we'll call the principal in here. I said, you do that. So when the principal came in, she told him what happened. He said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You did not want her to look you in the face. He excused my daughter, told her to go back to class, told me, I apologize for wasting your time. This is not about someone looking her in her eye or being disrespectful. She wanted to call her this little black child. I'm telling you what we lived through. Now, this is the same daughter who on her very first day of school ever was told by someone on the school bus. She got on the bus and she sat down and he said, black kids don't belong up here, you belong in the back of the bus. And this is how her school career starts. Racism is not something that is passed down through the bloodline. This is something that is taught. This is something that is taught. So how do we get rid of it? We have to teach. When this situation unfolded on television with George Floyd, I cried and cried. It could have been one of my brothers. It could have been my husband or my sons. unless you live where we live, and I am not talking about demographics. I'm talking about in the skin that we are in, not something that we have chosen, just something that we came into this world with. This is not anything that we can change. It's just who we are. And it makes us strong because we have to endure these things, not because of anything that we've created, but because of being created this way. I just want you to understand where we live. And I'm going to tell you this last thing so you know where I live. My husband worked a night job. I went to pick him up from work. We were riding home. I was the driver. He was the passenger. As I said, he was on his way home from work. So he leaned the seat back in the chair. So he's down a little lower than me. So as I ride down the street, there's a cop going by on the other side of the street who turned around in the middle of the street to pull me over. I'm sitting here going, what in the world did I do? I checked my speedometer right quick, and I was still well within the speed limit. I know what the speed limit is. I've traveled this road many times. So when he came up behind my car, he got out, and he didn't come to the driver's side. And I'm figuring maybe that is just so, he's not in the street with traffic going by. And so my husband rolled the window down. I said, what did I do? He said, this stop is not about you. It's about him. And I'm like, what? He said, he looked like somebody. I said, absolutely. He looks like my husband. He said, no, he looks like somebody we're looking for. Please explain that to me. His seat is back. How did you see him through? Past me, a closed window, his closed window on the opposite side of the street. These are the things that he said after he had my husband get out of the car. And he gave him his ID, because the police officer actually asked for his ID. So my husband gave him his ID, and he checked to see if my husband had any outstanding warrants. I'm gathering is what he was doing when he was checking his information. And all this time, my husband is standing out on the side of the street. I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So yes, it was quite heart-wrenching to see this scene unfold on television, on YouTube. I still have not watched this video all the way through. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it because all I keep seeing is it could have been one of mine. So I want you to understand, Black lives matter, blue lives matter, all lives matter. But right now, the hurting life is the one that we're talking about, okay? Now, I know that there are so many who would love to just take the focus off of what is actually going on and focus on the fact that we have people that are looting. And it's very easy to cast judgment, and I stand in it in and of myself, because so why in the world are these people doing this? This is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with protesting. This is just somebody who is snatching up whatever they can, using any excuse to do this, until I heard a video of a woman who said, You know, this is the one opportunity that people who knew they would never be able to afford this kind of a television or these type of sneakers or anything like that, this is their way of getting it. Now, I'm not justifying at all what they did. I still find that appalling. I still find it appalling. But yet, my heart goes out to those kind of people who believe this is the only way that you can get something. But anyway, I'm not taking any exception for that. I'm not saying that that's okay. I am appalled. Yes, I am appalled at the things that I saw. And it was not all in the name of protest. So you have people that respond and react in different ways. And I would like to give you a reference point. For those of you who are parents, when your baby tried to get your attention right off the bat, they would kind of whine a little bit. But if you don't respond, that whine becomes a cry. If you still don't respond, or maybe you didn't hear them, that cry becomes a tantrum, an all-out tantrum. So when you have people that are looting justifiably in their head, it's because they're trying to get attention the only way they think they know how. I choose to use this platform to say how I want to respond. Now, there are so many other, we could talk about this for days and weeks and months on end. Look, it's been going on for over 400 years. That's a lot of information. But I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you, be careful. How do we respond to this? How do we change the atmosphere of this? Now, I want to tell you one other thing before I let you know that. Let's look at the beauty community. This is 2020. Do you know how long it took before our shades were considered? If we couldn't get in, because you weren't fitting in, you were just getting in and mixing it with something else, hoping that you would find something that would look halfway decent on you. The companies did not care. But you know what? We don't understand the power of our dollar. We don't understand. We have large white companies that purchase people of color as well as black companies and put their product out there. Why do you think that is? Because they see the value in that dollar. Well, how about we decide how our dollar gets spent? I've already written a statement. I'll read it to you at the end. But the thing is, we are very, very powerful. The top 2 markets that spend more than any other market combined are people of color. Do you understand the value of your dollar? Take it and put it into a company that respects you, that is looking out for you, and will give you a quality product while letting you know that your life matters. Now, it took companies years and years to care enough to try to, they didn't necessarily sit down and create a formula that was inclusive to all of us. No. That didn't happen until competition came on the scene. So they either hired a token. I am calling those businesses on the carpet. I decide where my dollar is spent. Now, we've had companies that have put 10 times more lye in products for black hair that have caused cancer in our bodies. All in the name of straightening your hair. That wasn't their concern. Their concern was getting your dollar. Well, you now have companies that are concerned about your hair. Why? Because it's created by someone who has hair just like that and understands the struggle. I'm searching them out. I already have one. Curl box all day, every day. They find those products that work for my kind of hair. Now, the same thing with these beauty products. Now, I have subscription boxes that I subscribe to. I'm calling them on the carpet. They don't want to change. I'm not spending my money there. I've already started searching out other companies. You'll see real soon. Now, with that being said, choose where your dollar is spent. Do some research. Find out about these companies. Stop just taking their word. We've had blatant racists come out and say they don't care. They just wanted the money. You will never get another of my coins. You will never get a piece of money from me that folds. Because that's my choice, where I spend my money. And it will never be with products, with companies that choose to behave in this manner. CEOs or those bold enough to get up there and make that statement, I'm bold enough to keep my money in my pocket. Now, check the verbiage on these companies who have started putting out the information because there was a hashtag put out saying what they are going to do as far as contributing. I am no longer going to be supporting Scentbird. Now, my husband told me, are you sure you're not moving too fast? Well, I did some research. And Scentbird said they pledged a certain amount of money. Check the verbiage, y'all. Check the verbiage. Now, you have other companies that are talking about what they not have pledged, but have given and shown the receipts. I'm telling you, it's your dollar they want. So how is it that our dollar is so important, but we are not? If you have people in your circle that only look like you, you need to expand your circle. That's what you need to do. If everyone in a black person's circle is black, you are not even broadening your own horizons. If everyone in a Caucasian person's circle is Caucasian, you are not taking advantage of getting to know so much more information. Black lives do matter. They could share a whole lot of information with you that you just choose not to know about. There are a lot of us that don't know a lot about ourselves. Read a book. Read a book. I'll even give you some suggestions down below so that you can learn more about yourself. Learn that it was a black person that put the top on the Washington Monument. Did you know that? Did you know that D.C., the nation's capital, was built on the backs of black people? Did you know that? Check your history. Just saying. Just saying. My heart goes out to these families, and I pray that the things that these families have experienced, that no more will. But I will tell you this right now, since George Floyd's death, there has already been more than a dozen other black men and women. As a matter of fact, you can call some of them even children, that have died at the hands of law enforcement. Black lives really do matter. So, I just want to encourage you to do some fact finding, okay? I want to encourage you to check out some black-owned beauty brands. The difference with a black-owned beauty brand versus others, when black-owned beauty brands create shades, when they create pigments, when they create with undertones in mind, they do not just include us. That's not how it's done. But why are we the only ones that are doing that? Just a question. Just a question. Now, I apologize. I know that my voice may have sounded a little harsh to some of you. Don't hear me talk like that. Yes, I am very, very passionate about this because the lives of all matter. And right now, Black lives are mattering because they are being targeted in such a way. I'm going to read my statement to you, and this is going out to all of the subscription boxes that I have. You know about them because you see me review them here on this channel. Well, I just want them to know. As a proud subscriber, I would like to challenge you to better yourself as a company. And as your Black subscribers, to hold you accountable to at least double your workforce, your total staff, by at least this time next year. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for myself. I spend a lot of money and time purchasing, supporting, and unboxing on my channel, as well as bringing new subbies. I do that because I loved what you stood for, as well as the products and services that I received. As a result, I believe that I have a right to put this request out there. As a woman of color, a hurting woman of color, I am making a stand on how I spend my money right now. I will no longer be spending my money in businesses that offer absolutely no respect to the consumers, that spend more than any other ethnicity on beauty products. I believe that your statements have been true to the best of your knowledge or what you wanted to put out there over these last couple of weeks. However, it's time to back them up. I appreciate, respect, and love your diversity, but I need more. To my Boxy family, because I subscribe to all 3 levels. To my Ipsy subscription service. To my Allure subscription service. I ask that you heed our words. I'm sure that I am not the only one that you have heard this from. Now, to my other subscribers that actually care, I ask that you take a stand with me. Revoke these free passes. We deserve better. Our dollars give us power to demand better. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me on today. Remember, regardless of the season that you are in, you will always be a seasoned beauty. Until next time.